Don't close this. Not yet. Not until you hear what I'm about to say. Because what is happening to you right now, the weight you're carrying, the confusion you can't explain, the feeling that something is either about to break or about to bloom, is not an accident. It is not random. It is not coincidence that you are watching this at this exact moment, on this exact day. You did not find this. This found you. And God doesn't send the same message twice the same way. This moment, this one, the one you're in right now, was placed in front of you with intention. With precision. With a love so specific it chose you out of millions of scrolling, searching, hurting people and stopped you here. But here is what you need to understand before anything else. The window that is open right now in your life, the spiritual window, the divine opportunity, the door that heaven has cracked open just for you, it does not stay open forever. You have 48 hours. Not 48 hours before a deadline. Not 48 hours until something expires on a screen. 48 hours in the Spirit. A divine window. A sacred window that closes not because God stops loving you, but because seasons move. Because God is a God of kairos, of appointed time, and there are moments that carry weight that other moments do not. This is one of them. You are in one of them. And if you feel it in your chest right now, that something is shifting, something is opening, something is pressing on you to pay attention, that is not your imagination. That is the voice of God saying, stay here. This is for you. If this message is already speaking to your soul, type 48 in the comments right now, and subscribe so you never miss a word God sends your way. Part 1. Artist, the weight you've been carrying has a name. Let's start with the truth you haven't been able to say out loud. You are tired. Not the kind of tired that sleep fixes. Not the kind of tired that a vacation or a weekend can touch. You are tired in a place deeper than your body. Tired in your spirit. Tired from fighting battles that no one else sees. Tired from praying prayers that haven't yet been answered the way you expected. Tired from holding on when everything in you wanted to let go, from smiling when you were hollow, from functioning when you were fracturing inside. And somewhere in that exhaustion, a thought slipped in. Maybe I'm not who I think I am. Maybe I've been forgotten. Maybe whatever was supposed to happen for me, already passed. I need you to stop right there. Because that thought? That precise, quiet, devastating thought? It is a lie. And it is a lie that has been specifically engineered to reach you in this season, because the enemy does not attack what is already dead. He attacks what is about to come alive. You are being pressed because you are about to break through. And God wanted you to hear that before the next 48 hours move forward. There is a window open over your life right now, not metaphorically, not as a spiritual nicety, but a real, active, divine window of access. A window where prayers that you have been releasing for months, for years, are positioned to break through the ceiling and land. A window where what was stuck starts to move. Where what was silent starts to speak. Where what was closed starts to open. But windows require you to be present at the window. And that is why this message found you today. Right now. In this moment. Because God saw that you were about to stop believing. Saw that the weight had gotten heavy enough that you were considering putting down what He asked you to carry. And He sent this word, this moment, as a hand on your shoulder, as a voice in your ear saying, not yet. Don't let go yet. The window is open. Stay. Let me tell you something about the way God works that religion sometimes forgets to explain. God is not vague. He is not a force. He is not a concept. He is not a distant, disinterested architect of a universe He abandoned. He is a Father. And He speaks in specifics. He knows the number of hairs on your head, not as a metaphor, but as a declaration that nothing about you is unknown to Him, nothing about you is too small for His attention, nothing about you escapes His sight. He knows the exact prayer you prayed 3 weeks ago when the house was quiet and you were alone and no one else heard you. He heard you. He knows the exact moment you chose to keep going when quitting would have been easier. He saw you. He counted it. He knows what was done to you. What was said about you. What was taken from you. What was withheld from you. He has a record of every single thing, and He has not lost track. And right now in this window, these 48 hours, He is not just watching. He is moving. You have to understand what it means when heaven opens a window like this. It doesn't happen every day. It doesn't happen every month. There are seasons in the Spirit that carry a specific gravity, a specific weight of divine momentum, and when you are placed inside one of them, the rules of spiritual arithmetic change. What would have taken a year can shift in a day. What felt immovable can be moved in a night. What has been silent can suddenly begin to speak with a clarity that takes your breath away. This is that kind of window. And you, broken, tired, hoping, questioning, still standing, you are inside it right now. The enemy has worked very hard to make you believe this season is over for you. That the best moments have passed. That you are in a kind of spiritual afterthought, going through the motions of faith while the real miracles are happening for other people. You scroll and you see other people's breakthroughs, other people's testimonies, other people's open doors, and a quiet voice whispers, "Not for you. Not your time. Not your portion." That voice is a liar. And in this 48-hour window, God is asking you to do one thing: choose to believe. Not to feel it fully. Not to see the evidence yet. Not to understand how it all works. Simply to believe, to say with your whole chest, even if your hands are shaking, "I believe the window is open. I believe I am not forgotten. I believe something is moving." That act of belief, that specific act of will in this specific moment, is an act of partnership with heaven. Because God can do the impossible. But He has chosen, in His wisdom and His love, to partner with your faith. Your faith is not a performance for Him to evaluate. It is a key that you carry, and you hold the ability to unlock things that nothing else can unlock. In these 48 hours, your key matters. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not less than. You are not a person to whom God's goodness flows last and least. You are a person who is right now, in this moment, standing at the threshold of something that your past self would weep with gratitude to witness. And all you have to do is stay at the window. Stay here. Don't close this. Don't walk away from this moment as though it was just another video on just another day. Receive what is being given to you right now with both hands open. Because the weight you've been carrying, it has a name. And its name is, Almost There. Part 2. WORDS. What has been stolen from you is being returned. Let me go deeper now. Because this isn't just about comfort. This isn't just a soft word for a difficult season. What is happening in this divine window, in these 48 hours, is a reversal. A divine correction of what has been wrongly taken, wrongly delayed, wrongly withheld from your life. Say that again slowly inside yourself. A reversal is happening. There are things that were meant to be yours that were intercepted. Relationships, opportunities, positions, peace, joy, health, resources, vision, dreams that were planted in you before you were born, planted by God Himself with intention and purpose, and somewhere along the path, something stood in the way. Not because God changed His mind. Not because you were disqualified. But because you live in a world where there is a real spiritual opposition, a real adversary who understands what you carry better than you do, and who has worked systematically to make sure you don't walk into what was always yours. But there is something the adversary cannot do. He cannot touch a divine reversal. When God says, enough, when God opens a window like the one open over your life in these 48 hours and begins to move on your behalf, the return of what was stolen is not negotiable. It does not require your enemy's permission. It does not wait for circumstances to align perfectly. It moves. It comes back. It is restored. Sometimes quietly, like a tide coming in while you sleep, and sometimes suddenly, like a door swinging open on a morning you least expected. Both are happening right now. And you need to know this because the season you are in right now in these 48 hours, looks from the outside like a waiting season. It feels like stillness. It might even feel like silence from God. And I need to tell you the truth about that silence. Silence from heaven is not absence. It is preparation. When a surgeon is working, the room gets quiet. Not because nothing is happening, but because something precise and sacred is happening that requires focus and stillness. And God, in this season of your life, has been working in a silence so deep you mistook it for abandonment. It was not abandonment. It was surgery. He has been removing things from you that would have destroyed you if they stayed. Attachments, wounds, patterns, fears, identities built on other people's words instead of His voice. He has been preparing a version of you that is strong enough to carry the weight of what He is about to give you. Because there is a version of you that receives the blessing and collapses under it. And there is a version of you that receives it and stands. He has been building the version that stands. And in this 48-hour window, you are about to see the first signs of what the surgery accomplished. You will notice things shifting. Small things at first, a conversation that opens unexpectedly, a thought that brings sudden clarity after weeks of fog, a feeling of lightness where there was heaviness, a door that creaks open that was sealed for so long you had stopped knocking. Do not dismiss these as coincidence. Do not minimize them because they are not yet the full miracle you've been waiting for. Small movements in the spirit are the beginning of tidal waves. And what God is releasing in these 48 hours is a tidal wave, a wave of restoration, of return, of restitution for what was stolen, of vindication for what was wrongly done to you. I need to say that part again, slowly, because this might be the word you have been waiting the longest to hear. Vindication is coming. The people who doubted you, who told you it wasn't possible, who said you were too much or not enough, who left when you needed them most, who used you and discarded you, who spoke against you with mouths that should have spoken for you, God has seen all of it. Every word, every wound, every moment. And He is not passive about it. He is a God of justice. And justice, in the Spirit, is not revenge. It is restoration to the position from which you were wrongly removed. It is being raised to where you were always supposed to be. It is the places that were blocked suddenly becoming unblocked. It is the people who counted you out watching, with wide eyes, as God counts you back in. This is what restoration looks like. And it is moving right now. In these 48 hours. For you. There is something specific I feel in my spirit for the person reading this who has given up on a dream. A dream that lived in you for years that you have slowly, painfully allowed yourself to bury. You told yourself it was maturity. You told yourself it was wisdom. You called it letting go. But the truth is, it wasn't a burial. It was a seed going underground. And underground is exactly where seeds do their work before they rise. That dream is not dead. That dream is about to surface in a form more powerful than the version you had before, because it has been refined underground, strengthened in the dark, protected in the hidden place where God keeps what He is not yet finished with. In this window, in these 48 hours, something in you is going to shift regarding that dream. A remembering. A rekindling. A moment where you think of it again, and for the first time in a long time, the thinking doesn't bring grief. It brings fire. Let the fire come. Don't suppress it. Don't talk yourself out of it. Don't reach immediately for a reason why it's too late, why it's too hard, why you're too far behind. Just let the fire be there. Because that fire is God's breath on what He planted in you, and His breath does not land on dead things. You are alive. Your dream is alive. And in these 48 hours, the return has begun. Stay here. Stay open. Don't let this window close over you without you receiving everything it carries. Because what has been stolen from you is not gone. It is gathered. It is held. And it is being released back into your life right now with interest, with the weight of heaven behind it and the hand of God guiding every piece back into place. Part 3. The moment everything breaks open. Now I need to tell you the thing that changes everything. Not a comfort. Not an encouragement. A revelation. Because what is happening in your life right now is not just spiritual activity. It is not just a general sense of divine movement. What is happening is something so specific, so targeted, so precisely arranged that when I tell you, something in your chest is going to recognize it, not as information, but as truth you have always known but have never heard spoken. Here it is. You have been chosen for a moment. Not because you are perfect. Not because you have been consistent enough in your faith, or strong enough, or faithful enough with everything He gave you. Not because you have earned it or deserved it by some standard of spiritual performance. You have been chosen for this moment because God, in His infinite and specific and personal love, looked at the trajectory of your life, every valley, every failure, every surrender, every quiet act of obedience that no one saw, and He said, "This one. This is the one I want to use in this season. You are that one." And the window that is open right now, this 48-hour window, is not incidental to that choosing. It is the activation of it. There is a word in the Hebrew scriptures, kairos. It means the appointed time, the divinely arranged moment, the intersection of heaven's timeline with yours. And kairos moments are not created by human preparation, they are given. They are opened. They are walked through. You are standing at a kairos threshold. And what waits on the other side of it is not just blessing. It is identity. It is purpose. It is a version of your life that looks less like the life you have been surviving and more like the life you were born to live, full, purposeful, clear, anchored, powerful. But there is something you must understand about Kairos moments. They require your yes. God will not force you through a door you refuse to walk through. He will hold it open. He will send word after word, sign after sign, message after message, person after person, and this video today is one of them. He is sending everything he can in these 48 hours to get your attention, to hold your gaze, to say, this is real. This is happening. Say yes to it. So I'm asking you, God is asking you, right now in this moment, will you say yes? Not yes to having it all figured out. Not yes to understanding the plan. Not yes to certainty or comfort or confirmation. Just yes to the process. Yes to the next step you can see. Yes to the belief that He is who He says He is, and you are who He says you are, and this moment is what He says it is. Say yes. Because the second you do, the second you genuinely shift from I hope this might be true to I believe this is true and I choose to act accordingly, something in the spirit moves. Something that was held back gets released. Something that was waiting for your agreement finds permission to land. This is why the 48 hours matter. Not because God's power is limited to 48 hours. But because your window of receptivity has a shape. And right now, you are in the exact shape, the exact posture of hunger and openness and desperation and hope that heaven requires for what is about to be released. Tomorrow you could be distracted again. Next week you could be back in the noise, back in the routine, back in the numb. But right now, today you are here, fully here in this moment, with something cracked open in you that is ready to receive what heaven is sending. Don't waste this posture. Let me tell you what is about to break open specifically, because I feel this in my spirit and I need to say it out loud. For some of you, it is a financial breakthrough. Something that has been closed in the natural, an opportunity, a deal, a resource, a provision that has defied logic and how long it has been delayed, is about to open. In these 48 hours, something moves in that area. A conversation happens. A number changes. A door cracks. Hold your position. Do not panic. Do not quit. The provision is already in motion. For some of you, it is a healing. In your body. In your mind. In the parts of your heart that you have stopped believing could be restored. There is a healing beginning in you right now that your doctors don't have language for, that psychology cannot fully explain, that goes deeper than any therapy or treatment alone. God is touching the root. He is not dealing with the symptom, He is going to the source. And in these 48 hours, you will feel something shift in your body or your mind or your spirit that tells you, something is different. Something changed. For some of you, it is a relationship. A child who has walked away from you. A marriage that has felt like two strangers in the same house. A friendship that was severed in a wound that never fully healed. God is moving in that relationship right now. A softening. A moment. A conversation you didn't engineer. Don't manipulate it. Don't force it. Just hold space for it and watch what He does in these 48 hours. For all of you, for every single person watching this, the breakthrough is real. But the breakthrough is not the final destination. The breakthrough is the beginning of the real story, the story of you walking fully in what you were made for. Not surviving. Not holding on by your fingernails. Not managing the distance between where you are and where you dreamed of being. But living. Fully. Freely. Powerfully. In the fullness of what God wrote over your life before you were born. That life is not a fantasy. That life is the destination of this window. And in these 48 hours, in the time that is left, you are crossing the threshold of it. Everything is about to break open. Not later. Not when you're more ready. Not when circumstances align more neatly. Now. In this window. The moment has come. Part 4. Who you are on the other side. You are about to step into a version of yourself you have never been before. Not the version that was shaped by what was done to you. Not the version that was defined by what was taken from you, what was said over you, what you failed at, what broke you down, what diminished you. Not the person who learned to make themselves small to survive rooms that couldn't hold their full size. That version of you is finished. What is being born right now, in this 48-hour window, in this sacred moment of divine opening, is something new. Something that still carries your history, yes. Something that still walks in your body, speaks with your voice, lives in your circumstances. But something that is anchored differently. Grounded differently. looking at the world through eyes that have been opened to something they could not see before. You are about to be a person who knows they are loved by God, not theoretically, not doctrinally, not as a theological position they hold on Sunday morning and forget by Monday, but knows it in the way you know your own name. In the marrow. In the breath. In the place where the deepest part of you lives. And that knowing changes everything. Because when you know you are loved, when you carry that certainty not as an idea but as a foundation, you stop trying to earn your place. You stop shrinking yourself to fit other people's comfort. You stop begging for tables you were always meant to sit at. You stop waiting for permission from people who were never assigned to validate you. You simply live. And your living becomes your testimony. Not the things you say. Not the story you tell. Your life becomes the testimony, the evidence that God is real, that His promises are true, that what He says about a person is more powerful than what the world or the enemy or your own wounded voice says about you. You are about to become someone that people look at and say, something is different about them. Something has changed. Where did that come from? And the answer will be, from the moment they decided to stay when they could have walked away. From the moment they believed when they had every reason not to. From the 48 hours when heaven opened and they held their position at the window. I need you to understand what it means to receive an identity shift from God. It is not a feeling. It is not an emotion that comes and goes. It is a settling. A becoming. It is like watching concrete harden. The mixture is there, it has everything in it, and then there is a moment when it sets. And what was liquid becomes solid. What was movable becomes unmovable. God is setting something in you right now. Your sense of who you are, not who others say you are, not who your past says you are, but who God made you to be, is hardening into something permanent. And what sets in these 48 hours, what becomes solid in you during this window, will hold under pressures that would have cracked you before. You are becoming someone who does not break the same way anymore. You are becoming someone who knows how to stand in a storm, not because the storm is less fierce, but because the ground beneath you is more solid. Someone who can be shaken and not destroyed. Someone who can be challenged and not moved from their foundation. Someone who can look at the hardest thing in their life and say, with authority, not performance, this does not have the final word. God has the final word. And God says you win. Not you survive. Not you endure. Not you manage to get through by the skin of your teeth, exhausted and diminished at the finish line. You win. You come out of this season with more than you entered it with. You come out with wisdom that only comes from having been through the fire. You come out with a compassion that only comes from having known genuine pain. You come out with a testimony that cannot be fabricated or imitated, because it was bought with the real currency of your real suffering and your real faith. And that testimony, your story, your specifically yours cannot be duplicated story, is the weapon that God is going to put in your hand in the season that follows this window. Because the other side of your breakthrough is not rest. It is purpose. Beautiful, fulfilling, meaningful, world-touching purpose. There are people on the other side of your obedience right now. People who need to hear what you're about to experience. People who are where you were, who need someone who has been through it to turn around and say, I made it. And here is how. People who will find God through your story in a way that no sermon or book could have reached them, because what they needed was someone real. Someone who bled and got back up. Someone who doubted and still believed. Someone who stayed at the window even when every logical voice said to close it and walk away. That person is you. And in these 48 hours, the final hours of this sacred window, God is not just finishing a chapter of your life. He is beginning the one that matters most. The chapter where you walk in the fullness of your calling. The chapter where what you carry finally matches the container God built for it. The chapter where you stop playing small and start taking up the exact amount of space God designed you to fill, not out of pride, not out of ambition, but out of obedience to the God who made you for more than you've allowed yourself to be. Don't let this window close without stepping through it. Don't let these 48 hours pass and look back and wonder what would have happened if you had said yes. If you had believed. If you had stayed. The door is open right now. Step through it. With your whole self, broken pieces and all. With your whole heart, wounds and all. With your whole faith, doubts and all. God doesn't need your perfect version to use you. He needs your willing version. He needs the version that shows up and says, here I am. Take me. Use me. Lead me. I trust you. That is enough. That has always been enough. The 48 hours are not over yet. And everything you are stepping into, stay at the window. Before this window closes, I need to leave you with something that will stay with you longer than this video. You were made for this. Not for a life of quiet desperation. Not for a life of almost. Not for a life where the best you can say is I got through it. You were made for a life that bears witness, that every person who watches you live it walks away with a hunger for the God who made you. You were made to be evidence of something greater than yourself. And that purpose, that ancient, original, God-breathed purpose, is what this window has been calling you back to. Not to a religion. Not to a performance of faith. To relationship. To the knowing. To the place where you and God are speaking again in the language of trust, and the world around you begins to shift because you have. The 48 hours are nearly done. But what God has placed inside you in this window does not expire with the window. What has been planted in you right now is a seed that will grow beyond this moment, that will produce fruit in seasons you cannot yet see, that will touch people you have not yet met, in ways you cannot yet imagine. You were not chosen for a moment. You were chosen for a lifetime. And this moment is just the beginning of what that lifetime looks like when you finally say yes to all of it, to the pain and the purpose, to the breaking and the building, to the surrender and the power, to the God who has never stopped pursuing you with a love that defies every reason you've given him to stop. He has not stopped. He is here. Right now. In this moment. With you. Stay at the window. Believe what he said. Receive what he sent. And go live the life that has been waiting for you on the other side of your yes. If this message reached the deepest part of you, subscribe. So that every time God sends a word like this one, it finds you exactly the way this one did. You are not alone. And you never were.